Welcome to Statesmen, the podcast where we explore all 50 states with our 5 senses. If you've come here for history, we're giving you none. We don't have an episode for you today. Anthony, what the hell happened?
We were going to record something, but it appears that Stu has gone missing. He's disappeared. I haven't heard from him at all. I don't know if you have.
I haven't heard from him. Oh, wait. I think I just actually got a recording from him. I'm just going to play it right now.
Okay.
Hello, Statesman listeners. This is Stuart Highcard, junior statesman, coming to you live from the great state of Kansas. I came out here originally to do some live journalism regarding the start of the NFL season. The Kansas City Chiefs, of course, kicking things off in Kansas City, Kansas. I never made it to the game. I burst a tire and got lost in a maze of cornfields, and these aren't the fun cornfield mazes that you've probably had some time with around fall. No, these are unnatural, godly creations of some sort of psychopath. I'm being chased by a man and his dogs. I don't know a whole lot about the situation, but what can I tell you? Let me just run over the 5 senses of the state really quick. Sight. All I can see is corn. It's higher. It's taller than me. I can't see over it. All I see is corn. Smell. Oh, God. It smells a little bit like gunpowder. I fired a gun. I had to protect myself. I've taken 2 lives. It tastes like pennies. I think that's just my gums. I haven't had time to brush. Speaking of brush, though, I've been running through ankle-high brush for hours now, and I can just feel ticks all over my legs. I don't know what to do with those, but what else? What's another sense? Sound. Let's listen. Ow, fuck. Okay, I was just bit by a hornet. Okay, and finally, touch. I feel incredibly touched just to be in this state and to be talking to you listeners right now. It's a great honor, and I miss my boys so much. I can't wait to release new episodes starting next week. I've also been touched by some sort of spirit. Last night I slept in a tree to avoid my hunter, and I somehow bound my spirit with the spirit of the tree and the spirit of the state. And now I'm not sure if I'll ever come home. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you guys are having a good time. Man, this is long as fuck, but, I see them. Okay. I'll come to you now. Okay. And goodbye.
Wow. What the fuck?
He seems to be doing well.
About as well as you could hope to be doing traveling in the midst of everything that's going on.
Yeah, well, I hope he doesn't. I don't know who he was talking to at the end, but it seems like he was found or, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. Stu, we wish you the best. He did touch on something important, though. Going forward, we're going to try to get back to that old familiar state format.
Oh, my God. Thank freaking God.
Can you believe it?
I can't wait. I can't wait to finally talk about the thing that we all want to listen to. Just all about the states.
Right.
I can't wait.
Yeah. We definitely are going to try to get back in that direction. There may still be an odd episode thrown in every once in a while, but we're going to try to keep those more to the same special format as we had previously. And obviously it's going to look different because we're all recording from our own homes, but we think that we have all the equipment and infrastructure in place to start getting back on track. But hopefully Stu survives whatever incident this is. That sounds utterly horrifying. I think he was misguided because I'm pretty sure that the Kansas City Chiefs play in Missouri. But
beats the hell out of me. I just hope he gets home safe.
Me too.
55 is a great highway. So that's all I got to say. Anthony, you got anything else to say?
Well, Stu did comment on it. It is the start of football season, which in the time of the coronavirus feels very terrifying and weird and unnatural. And hopefully they have done it in a way where it's safe for everyone, as safe as it possibly could be. Obviously, football is not a safe game as it stands. It's a very violent and intense game. but it is almost a little too normal for the world right now. Like it feels like we're pretending everything is moving on.
Yeah.
But because it is the start of football season, we were thinking what we wanted to do as kind of a placeholder for this week. And we wanted to throw it back a couple months to our Green Bay, Wisconsin episode that we recorded on a road trip. That has a lot of football themes. We went to a Green Bay Packers game, Stu and I. There's footage, or not footage, but audio that was recorded in a similar fashion to that one that he just sent in to us for this episode. Like bad field recordings. And there's a lot of stuff that just feels like it was recorded in a completely different world, travel, community, and just all those different experiences that we've kind of been missing in quarantine. So we figured we would throw it back to that one just to kind of give everybody, a little reminder of what the before time was like.
Oh, God. Okay, hell fucking yeah. Let's throw it back.
And then next week, hopefully we'll be back with the state.
All right. Well, on behalf of my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi, and Stuart Highcar, I'm your elder statesman, Tim Ferrari. Enjoy this episode.
Touchdown.
When he came to Wisconsin, he brought his southern charm. He brought his love of football and a rocket for an arm. For 16 tough seasons, he never missed a start. He won some and he lost some, but he never lost his heart.
Welcome to Statesmen, the podcast where we explore all 50 states with our 5 senses. If you've come here for history, we'll give you some. But most of this is half-baked opinion that is never intended to harm or offend anyone. Today, we paint a picture of a football field with a suburb around it. Caressed by a frigid finger of Lake Michigan, this 56.77 square mile bay with some cheese hanging off that smelly ass used to be called the Bay of Stinking Waters as a friendly French trading outpost with native populations, but was eventually changed to a much more delightful name around the time of the town commissioner's death. As white Europeans settled the area and continued to swell up the place with their muddy ass, native populations were pushed out, lots of war happened, and industry was born and boomed, simultaneously birthing train highways, real highways, and Earl Curly Lambeau, the former de facto owner of the Packers and NFL football team. It wasn't until 1930 that Titletown smelled somewhat decent, after local godsend Northern Paper Company invented splinter-free toilet paper, and can you even freaking imagine getting a splinter on your anus? It's a green city in a brown county. We welcome you to Green Bay.
It wasn't about the money, wasn't about the fame. Just a boy from Mississippi that loved to play the game. Now Favre is a legend, he knew how to play the game.
Here come them dang statesman boys again.
I'm your older statesman, Tim Ferrari, along with my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi.
Lambeau, yeah.
And Stuart Highcar.
My favorite Green Bay, Baby Yoda.
Wow. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're in Green Bay right now, y'all.
We're not just in Green Bay, we're in a hotel room in Green Bay. Shout
Yeah.
out to the Aloft.
I am in bed, and it's frankly exactly what I need right now because I'm feeling rough. It's been a big trip, y'all.
Absolutely. We have been doing a lot of traveling. We've been doing a lot of learning, and we've been doing a lot of connecting as a couple of boys, eh?
Yeah, I would say so. I think we've made more jokes per minute than we ever have in our entire lives, and most of them are about pee-pee, poo-poo, farts, and semen.
JPM, very high.
I've actually been making some pretty highbrow jokes off the mic, and I don't embrace being characterized that way.
No, I assume once we start this record, Anthony, you're going to stop with all of your incredibly insightful feelings about the impeachment and everything going on in Washington right now. And
yeah, I'd prefer to just keep that between us, because these insights are too fresh. It would blow the minds of the masses.
Well, speaking of blowing the minds of the masses, you've been blowing your asshole with diarrhea, Anthony.
No, I have not.
Shout out.
No, I have not.
No, if anything, Anthony and I are both going to be having some intestinal trouble in the next few hours because, this morning we started off by just chugging beers in a parking lot.
Yeah, you guys went to a Packers game today.
Yeah, we went to a Packers game today. We've done it all. We got wings yesterday. We hit up a family video. There's just so much that we've done.
Yeah.
And I just want to kind of figure out what should the structure of this episode be.
Here, I have a little bit of a, we're doing our first on the road episode.
That's right.
We're not in the tee-hee-hee capital of the United States of America, Chicago, Illinois. We're in Wisconsin at the moment.
Now, our real first on-the-road episode, one that we recorded in the back seat of a moving car on the highway up to Wisconsin.
Well, Camden and I were in the front seats.
Okay.
Good point.
Just to maintain accuracy.
I know how much you hate lying to our listeners.
Absolutely. And Camden, of course, is on the mic again.
Hello.
Yeah, Camden, you did an absolutely killer fucking job rigging up that car and making it probably more dangerous than it needed to be, but it was awesome.
It's a shock to me that we weren't pulled over at any time.
Dangerous, certainly, but I'm just really glad that Stu waited until we got all the way up here to Green Bay to let all his farts out.
Okay, everybody is calling me out on all the gas I've been having, and it's because I've been eating like a freaking Wisconsinite. This place is all about cheese and excess. It's like if Succession was at a dairy farm.
So we've spent 2 days in Wisconsin, kind of traveling up and down the highways.
Yeah, why don't we take it in chronological order and take our listeners through our nice, delightful trip?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So we kind of stopped a couple places, including a Culver's, guys.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Culver's and the butter burgers and the ice cream and the fries and the curds.
Yeah, and that was pretty much right after we crossed the border into Wisconsin, and that's when we started seeing all of the Packers gear.
Oh, yeah, it is everywhere. It really is a way of life up in these parts. And now that I've gone to a game, I absolutely understand why. I don't want this to sound rude in any way, but I truly mean this almost as a compliment or a positive thing. But I feel like Green Bay has so little going for it that if you're not celebrating the Packers, you're just lost in terms of what you're about,
Yeah, Camden and I went around the town a lot today and really tried to figure out what the hell is going on up here. And we went to the downtown area, and it's super industrial, kind of spread out. It's all on the river. It seems like one of these Rust Belt, not totally abandoned areas, but it's not as booming as I thought it would be. Considering it has 100,000, 200,000 people in the city.
100,000 for 104,000 people in it, and 50,000 of those people were at the game today with Anthony and I.
It's so wild.
It was wild.
Well, how many residents are there in good old Manitowoc? Or I'm still not sure how to pronounce it. We got called out on our pronunciation by a couple Wisconsinites.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was very wrong, and they legitimately did not recognize what we were trying to say.
One person said to me, Manitowoc. And I was like, I don't think that's right.
I don't think that's right.
Manitowoc.
Manitowoc.
And that's a great segue to talk about the new friends we made here in Green Bay at Shea Comedy City.
Absolutely.
And our new friend Chad, who heads the team there, he rammed through Manitowoc really fast, and it almost came out Manitowoc.
Yeah,
Manitowoc.
I feel like that's just sort of the local thing, and I think with talking about our friends in Manitowoc, we can kind of talk about our first day of the 2-day trip. Guys, I think the Statesmen are all about exploring places and things with our 5 senses, so why don't we go through the 5 of them about Manitowoc, and then we'll shift into part 2 of the episode, which is the 5 senses of Green Bay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we can do it in a little bit of an order. So, We're going to start out by exploring Green Bay, Manitowoc with our five senses. And normally we start out with a game, but we're just going to get right into the fucking action because we know our listeners are just absolutely drooling with an appetite to hear about this episode.
No games.
No games. So, guys, what did you, what, we're going to start out with smell. So what did you guys start smelling in Manitowoc?
Interesting. Okay, Anthony, I know I saw you a few times put your head out of a car window and then take deep breaths and then write down some notes. So I'm interested in what you have to say.
I was honestly just trying to recreate the scene from Dark Knight when Heath Ledger dips out of a police car.
That was so iconic. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but there was actually like a bit of a pastiche or an allegory in the new Joker movie to that. And I caught it as a film buff.
Wait, was it when he was looking out the window, but like not really hanging out?
Wishing he could be outside.
Right.
Yes.
Well, hey, speaking of wishing we could be outside, maybe we should stop the record and go pop out in this cold winter air.
Yeah, it's only negative 1,000 degrees outside, which honestly is affecting our sense of smell quite a bit, you know?
Yeah, so when I did stick my head out of the window, I was mostly smelling that cool winter air, and it smelled very fresh. There wasn't a lot of like industrial disturbance to it. There wasn't a ton of like exhaust fumes or just general like city smell. It was a lot of like fresh air, which is something that Tim has been trying forever to capture on the podcast. And it truly is like impossible to bottle up because it's just so, just the smell of the wind, like just going through the streets was so good. And it really like, you could tell it's December.
Yeah, you know, I think we've all heard that Pocahontas song, Colors of the Wind, but have you heard that song, The Smells of the Wind?
No, I haven't, Stuart. Why don't you go ahead and sing your favorite chorus from that song?
Well, I wish I could, but I've been breaking the wind all damn day. Guys, that's definitely the smell that I wanted to explore with you guys on this segment, is specifically like all the cheese farts I think we've all been having. This is just like, this is a town where if you're not smelling a new brew or some cow shit or like some very clean lake air, you're smelling cheese farts. And that's okay. I feel like that's very American. That's very round ball. And I like it.
There was one Green Bayer, I remember distinctly them saying that you're not a true Wisconsinite if you get affected by cheese at all.
Yeah.
So maybe you're just out of your element, Stuart.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I mean, none of us are true Wisconsinites.
No, absolutely not. I've had diarrhea literally all day. I've had so much cheese and it hurts.
You know, some of the other smells that really stood out to me, you know, Stu is referencing this, but and we'll definitely get back into this in a later segment, but I actually had my first spotted cow in Manitowoc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's break it down. What is the spotted cow?
Spotted cow is just some Wisconsin beer, and the smell of it, we'll focus on that because that's what the segment we're in. It's very like light and smooth. There's not a lot of bite to the smell, not a lot of acidity.
Yeah.
It just smells, and it doesn't smell like a flat, weedy beer either. It just kind of has like a light lilt to it.
Now,
if that makes sense.
Anthony, you described it as just some Wisconsin beer, but I think it's a little bit more than that. It is a public, or I suppose a privately owned beer, a beer owned, not bought up by one of these big chains that you see putting up commercials at the Super Bowl, like E-Trade Baby or whatever. God, I hate E-Trade Baby, but yeah, it's a beer that is only allowed to be sold within the borders of Wisconsin. It's not allowed to be shipped anywhere and sold anywhere else. And because of that, when you come into the state, you got to try it, but it may denote you as a tourist among some of your Packer friends.
Yeah, multiple Wisconsinites told us that it's not like a true Wisconsin local beer. Like, well, in terms of like the people who drink it. It's something that definitely like makes you stand out.
Yeah, but I think that's like somebody from like California going like, oh yeah, I mean like we don't hang out at Disneyland every day. It's like, yeah, I know, but I came here and Disneyland's only here, so I'm going to enjoy it while I'm here, you know?
Sure. And you can certainly still enjoy, you know, Spotted Cow as a local because it is dynamite.
Oh, if you're from California, you can still go on Space Mountain, man, and that is dynamite as well.
I thought the Spotted Cow kind of smelled buttery.
Ooh.
Yeah, it did have like a creaminess to it. Like the general dairy factor carried over, but it's not like a porter or like a stout. Like it's not like a creamy beer.
Guys, I know we're talking about Spotted Cow right now, but maybe we can jump around to another spot that we hit up in Manitowoc, the family video.
What?
Yes.
We're going to talk about the smell of a family video.
I think we can, because I definitely have some thoughts about it. For the listeners at home, Manitowoc has perhaps the last family video in America. This is a very large video store, rows of DVDs, a couple of Blu-rays, a couple of video games. But what makes this place so interesting and what made us have to pull around, pop a 180 and go inside is that on the windows of the family video, there were big signs that say, now selling CBD.
Yeah, pretty fucking dope collab between DVDs and CBDs.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we had to whip around because Stu was aggressively like, I need to get my fix.
Well, yeah.
He's pulling on the back of my shirt and choking me out in the front seat.
I absolutely love CBD, and if it could stand for anything, I guess it would be cool boy drink, because I put it into my liquor and then I'm fucking cool as shit, dude. I think specifically while we were inside of, and I guess this is a bit of an audio segment, but while we were inside of the family video, they received a phone call from someone, and the woman picked up the phone and verbatim, this is exactly what she said. Thank you for calling Family Video. And yes, we also sell CBD. It was such like a sad secondary sentence. And I don't know. What did that place smell like to you guys? I haven't been in a video store in a long time.
I thought it smelled like, it's really easy to say that it smells like this because in this family video, there next door to it was a pizza shop. And on the right side of the wall was a little ordering counter that wasn't the pizza shop, but it was like a little window into the pizza shop where you could, ding a bell and somebody would come over and you could like browse the store while waiting for your pizza.
It was really great. You could like pick up whatever Blu-rays you wanted, and without having to leave family video, you could buy some CBD, turn to the right, knock on a window, and order a pizza to take home as well. Like, this is truly the disappointing son's perfect location,
What was jarring about that pizza window was that it was clearly like, it used to be like the DVD return slot or something, because it was so small. Like, you could probably fit a single slice of pizza on a paper plate through there. Like, there was a little tiny counter, but if you put one DVD down, and we were debating on which DVD to get. We were trying to find something Wisconsin related. So, for instance, if you put down a copy of Wisconsin movie Mr. 3000, it would have dominated the space.
Yeah, Camden brought up Mr. 3000 when we were looking for a Wisconsin film, and I realized just how much that movie has had an effect on my life. I feel like if I ever retire and I find out that I'm one home run away from actually breaking that 3,000 mark, I might just join back up on them Brewers and hit a dinger at the ringer, baby.
I think about Bernie Mac all the time. I don't know about you guys.
I think about Bernie Sanders all the time, not to get political.
Well, we're not talking about Bernie Sanders in Vermont. I mean, come on, we're talking about freaking Wisconsin over here. I think that DVD store smelled like plastic and pizza.
Well, I think those are two really interesting smells to lock onto for Manitowoc, but I think we can talk about another smell that might transition us really well into the taste segment of Manitowoc, which is the smell of Luigi's family style trattoria Italiana Ristorante.
Yeah, the second we were in our hotel room, Daddy went to Google. That's me, of course. I went to Google. I had to find the best restaurant for our kids. I had picky eaters in this group. So I had to make sure I could find something that would satisfy us all. Went immediately sort price high to low because we're bawling. We're absolutely trying to drop $70 each on a meal.
Wow, bawling.
Yes. And, all signs pointed to Luigi's. Local Italian restaurant.
It was, if correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in the top 3 of all Manitowoc restaurants.
It might have been the second most recommended restaurant, if not the first. And it's a real classic. Like, to breach into the site segment, obviously, like, we have to talk about the fact that It is a very, very stereotypical Italian-American restaurant.
Oh my God.
Pictures, they're literally a Godfather poster, a Fellini poster, pictures of Frankie Blue Eyes
I'm
and
talking
Dino
about
shooting pool.
a fucking picture of Frank Sinatra with a golden plaque underneath it that just says Frank Sinatra. It's like, just in case you guys forgot who's the king of Italians.
And wasn't there a picture of just like a nondescript man with the placard "No"?
Oh, so no is actually, and this is very important, you see, Camden pointed this out to us. There was one wall where the Luigi family, they had all of their class photos and like wedding photography of all the like extended family members. But there was also the document saying like it was like a memorial document to their grandmother, I assume, who probably cooked for them and made some better food than we got at Luigi's. But her nickname was No.
Yeah, Nona. That's like Nana.
Nona.
No, Nona.
Nona.
Yeah. Well, do you think the family's name is Luigi's or?
No.
Yeah, no. No way.
So I was looking at it, and the man who originally established the restaurant, his name was apparently like Nick
Luigi.
Lewis. No, and his
name was Nick Luigi.
No, and his last name was not Luigi. It started with I think it was like Capriati or something.
I think it might have been Galani. But I could also just be making up a stereotypical.
You're just making up Italian last
Yeah.
But I mean, how did you guys feel about the smell of Luigi? And then let's transfer into like the taste segment and talk about how it tastes.
The smell of Luigi.
So I feel like this is pretty typical of highly rated restaurants in small towns. You walk in and you're immediately hit with like that very light like spices, salt and pepper,
Sure,
oregano.
I think you're also hit with like that light fryer smell. I think in restaurants in smaller towns, they definitely rely on a fryer for a lot of different foods. I just wish they would have fried our chicken, Anthony.
Yeah, we got chicken parmesan, and it came out as grilled chicken with cheese dumped on top of it. Camden had the real loser, though.
We'll get into that once we start talking about the taste.
Fair.
I'm not done with the smell.
So the food smelled good. We had a lot of there were a lot of Italian favorites moving through there. So there was a hefty marinara tinge in the air.
Absolutely.
A little bit of olive oil. EVO.
Hey, speaking of olive oil, I've got something that will pop my eyes out in anger. This is a smell specific. In the bathroom, I was at the urinal and suddenly I felt the light misting of something wet hit the back of my neck. And I was shocked. I was scared. I was unsure of what it was.
Was it the ghost of Nona peeing on the back of your neck?
No, it was not. How disrespectful of you.
You're right. I'm sorry to evoke your name.
No, it was, they had like a Febreze air freshener in the bathroom that had squirted and just... and shot a few specks of liquid onto the back of my neck.
Yeah, and I was going to call it out, and I went to talk to a representative about it, and they said, oh, yeah, he's supposed to be in there. That's Fabrizio.
That's our boy Fabrizio Galani. He spits out the freaking stuff in the bathroom.
Fabrizio.
Yeah.
I want to talk about at least one more smell, and let me know if you guys picked up on this.
Please.
But beneath all of the food smells and, Fabrizio... I don't know if you guys picked up on, again, what's typical of a highly rated restaurant in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about it on the pod before. Old people smell.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Definitely.
But I think, honestly, that's something that has sort of been wafting around all of Wisconsin for me. This is sort of, so far, like a very retiree sort of state.
Yeah. I mentioned to Tim upon first entering Luigi's, the median age has gone up significantly. We're so used to being around people exactly our age.
Yeah.
The youth.
Out in Chicago.
The youth of America.
It was wild. The median age in that restaurant was what? 65, 70?
Yeah, the median age in that restaurant was probably the same amount of years that Luigi, the Mario character, has been real. So, I don't know.
Oh, man.
A million?
I
million
definitely
years old.
I definitely got that classic, carpeting and old wood smell.
I
And
love a good restaurant that's carpeted.
Yeah. And when I say old wood smell, I mean that separately from the old people smell.
Certainly.
None of them are getting wood, that's for sure.
And that was definitely a retrofitted old building, too.
Yeah, I mean, what was great about Luigi's is that when you go in, you lose all cell reception, and you also start, like, being able to taste your molars better.
Did you guys pick up on any smells at our hotel?
Ooh, interesting. Other than the smell,
Cigarettes sometimes.
Yes,
There was
yeah.
a man walking around in his bare feet in the lobby, and that really bothered
Yo,
me.
straight up, motherfucker, do not come to the continental breakfast without fucking shoes and socks
Yeah, I
on,
don't
you
want-
dipshit.
I'm not going to like tell anyone else how to live their life, but I just don't want your bare foot anywhere near my
Here's
English
the thing.
muffin.
Here's the thing. When I'm eating an English muffin with all those nooks and crannies, you know what I want to spread on there? Strawberry jam, not toe jam.
Oh, you tell him, Stuart.
Yeah, I will. I wish I would have spoken up. But guys, let's talk about some of the tastes of Manitowoc now.
Yeah.
I think we before we get off the Luigi subject, we should just talk about what we got. Tim, I think, why don't we start with you, move on to Anthony and I, and then we get to Camden, sort of in like a declining level of quality.
Well, if you're familiar with Italian food, I ordered a penne bolognese. You know, that's a very simple meat sauce, you know, kind of oily, kind of tomatoey and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, penne is a nice long, hollow pasta. It's quite nice. And it was more like an alla vodka.
Wait.
if you what?
Penny's not long. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's like it's not short.
But it
Yes,
is
it is.
hollow. It's definitely hollow.
No, short is like a macaroni elbow.
But unlike
Oh.
penne, your meal was not totally tubular, was
No, it was like a alla vodka sauce. It was super creamy. It was like mad. They clearly leaned into the Wisconsin of the dish.
The cream.
Yeah, just by pouring cream into my bolognese. What?
that over creaming had you screaming and steaming, buddy.
Yeah,
Come on down to Luigi.
It's no wonder why I've had diarrhea for the past 16 hours.
Yeah, it's been a lot of cream. But I think also talking about dairy, Anthony and I, we both got the chicken parmigiano, which I was very excited to just have a nice chicky parm and eat it with my friends. And
Yeah, it's my favorite dinner, my
Yeah.
favorite dish.
it's such an Italian classic, and it's one that like my grandparents used to make all the time, and it's sort of become like my parents make it all the time, and it's something that I plan on making for my stepkids all the time.
I make it for you, son.
Stop. Anyway, so Anthony and I get this dish. The spaghetti in it is fine. The sauce is okay. And again, the chicken is fucking grilled chicken.
There aren't any grills in Italy, guys. Come on.
No, that's not even the problem. Like, it so defeats the purpose of having like a sauce underneath the chicken if the chicken doesn't have a breading to soak up some of that flavor. It just tastes like grilled chicken with like 3 slices of thick ass cheese on top of it.
But what about famous Italian-American cook George Foreman?
One thing, a couple things we shared for the table. They brought out bread that was like super garlicky and buttery.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I loved that.
Great
It wasn't,
bread.
Yeah.
It wasn't like full on garlic bread. It was definitely like missing je ne sais quoi, to make it that like full on garlic bread experience. It was kind of just a buttery roll. It was awesome. And then we got calamari, which was surprisingly good.
You never think it'll be it, but for me, the calamari was the star of the damn meal.
Oh, what about those soups, though?
Oh, you know what? I liked the soup as well, but that soup I felt like came out of a can. Like,
Yeah, the soup was fine. I got a sausage soup. It was decent.
actually, Anthony, you just got a normal soup. I added the sausage.
Ew, brother.
What?
And then we got a Caesar salad, which was wild because it had like carrots and full ass like onion loaf in it.
Hell yeah, that's some motherfucking Italian restaurant shit.
Not onion loaf. Sorry, just like quartered onion.
Yeah, normal loaves. It was, as overall, I don't think we can complain about this meal, except for
Camden, what did you have?
Camden.
So I had my head in the same space as Tim. I was going for a penne, nice,
A nice
simple,
long pasta.
old
Super
reliable,
long pasta.
old
Forrest
reliable,
Gump's favorite pasta.
long,
Okay, keep going, Camden.
long tubey pasta.
Okay.
And I ordered a penne caprese, which, if anyone's familiar, is rather simple to prepare. You got olive oil, perhaps a little bit of oregano, and then tossed with garlic, diced tomatoes, and mozzarella.
And you
Nice.
want to kind of get the perfect ratio among those ingredients, right? You want a little bit of all those ingredients on top of a big bed of pasta. Let it soak up the flavor.
But what I got was essentially a hot bed of diced tomatoes. And we're talking probably like 2 entire medium-sized tomatoes.
Yeah, it was like a handful of pasta and 3 handfuls of tomatoes.
And maybe 20 total tubes of penne, and then featuring some mozzarella.
It was like as if you've ever been in line at a Chipotle and you look at the mild salsa, the pico de gallo, as if they had just dumped out that entire container onto an Italian plate.
And it tasted like it too. It was not seasoned at all.
It was just tomatoes.
Yeah, and it was soupy. I wasn't feeling that dish. Camden loved it. He said it was the healthiest thing that
Yeah,
he
Camden ate around the spaghetti, ate only the tomatoes, left a plate of pasta.
I need my vitamin C.
Overall, it was a fun experience. Though it was a good restaurant. It was fine. It was like definitely above what I expected for like such a big swing for a local joint.
I will say though, that's not the only taste that we enjoyed in Manitowoc.
It's
We
true.
also, getting back from the place after having a couple of cocktails at Luigi's, decided to hit up the vending machine in our hotel.
That's not really a Wisconsin specific. But
I think one thing from that vending machine definitely was, and it's what I selected, the Chewy Spree. Now,
Wisconsin classic.
yeah, I don't know if any of our listeners have ever tried Spree. I surely hadn't before I got them out of the vending machine, and I mean, I never will try them again. It was disappointing top to bottom.
you were enticed by the packaging. The bright colors called to you.
Honestly, though, but you started ordering something and you were like, ooh, Chewy Spree, what's that? And then Tim was like, ooh, I'll get Chewy Spree. And I was like, no, I want the Chewy Spree. And it was as if I had been tricked by Tom Sawyer to like paint a fence or something. Like I ate the Chewy Spree and they were all bad flavors.
Yeah, they were not good. We kept saying that the grape, or at least I kept saying that the grape tasted like, the aftertaste of the grape Spree was kind of like vomit.
Yeah, it tasted as if you had puked like 30 minutes earlier and you had just eaten, I don't know, a bunch of Robitussin or something. It was bad. It was not good.
We kept trying to find the right flavor combination to keep the snack viable, and it was just not there.
Big shout out, though, if you ever get a pack of Chewy Spree, try a green and a yellow combined. That's something.
I would love to talk about the taste of Spotted Cow. We kind of got into the smell
Oh,
of
yeah,
it.
sure.
My first Spotted Cow was actually from Luigi's. It came out of the tap, and it was so delicious. My mind was blown. Like, I've never had a beer that I had this strong a reaction to outside of this one specific place in Bruges, Belgium, which is like the only location you can get that specific like triple de gar. And this was almost to that extent of enjoyment for me. Like I was absolutely freaking out. I made everybody try it at gunpoint, and then demanded their reactions because it really just knocked me back. It's like so smooth. There's no like aggressive dominant flavor. Like it's sweet and like light, and it just goes down so easily. Like it doesn't taste overly weedy. It doesn't taste overly hoppy. There's really like not even like a lot of malt to it. Like it's hard to describe the flavor other than just solidly delicious.
Yeah, it really is. I would describe it as America's beer. It tasted like every beer I'd ever had, but better. It was like the amalgamation of the idea of beer plus one. It was really, really good. And in day 2, once we got to Green Bay and Anthony and I hit the parking lot of Lambeau Field to do some tailgating, of course we brought a 24-pack of this shit. And we drank so many of them.
Yeah, we'll get there when we hit Green Bay.
Oh boy.
I like the Spotted Cow. Again, like it kind of harkens back to the smell segment, but I really thought it tasted buttery. Like it had a really buttery, melted buttery kind of consistency, but also like it had that sweetness, but with a little bit of it. It harkened to dairy for me.
The thing I think you might be trying to get at is the richness.
Maybe.
I think there's a rich and full flavor to a lot of the stuff that goes on up here. And, you can attribute a lot of that to dairy just being creamy and deep as a flavor. But I mean, like, Obviously, there's not 2%
No
milk
yeah.
in the damn beer we drink.
There could be a big teaspoon of butter. Yeah, Anthony, when you had that first sip at Luigi's, I swear I watched it knock the soul out of your body, Doctor Strange style, for a couple seconds.
Anthony did get Stephen Strange to cross Luigi's restaurant. It took him 3,000 years to get back, but for us, it was but a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's all for the taste of Manitowoc.
I think that's fair. There are not many tastes that we had there.
What the fuck did we see there? Sorry, Anthony.
Hey, in Manitowoc, it's actually Stephen Avery Strange.
Oh God, hell yeah. Hell
yeah.
That's something we saw there. Let's transfer onto
yeah.
the site segment of Manitowoc. For listeners at home who probably, a couple years ago watched Making a Murderer, the Netflix documentary series about a man who might have been framed for murder or who might have committed 2 murders. A lot of the footage in there is shot at the Manitowoc State house, the courthouse.
Yeah.
And we drove right past it, and I recognized it from the car without any, I saw it, and I was like, oh shit, that's like the place you see in the thing. That's where fucking Making a Murderer guy himself gets moved between the jailhouse and the courthouse right out there. I've saw 1,000 interviews with random people. Like, it's wild to think that we were almost made a murderer by the Manitowoc Police Department.
Yeah, when you took that family video sign.
Hey, let's not get into the crimes we committed on the podcast.
I was more concerned about impaling ourselves on these mic booms while
true.
recording in the car.
For real. I really enjoyed the sights of Manitowoc. I thought it was a really cute, sleepy kind of town. It reminded me a lot of Troy, New York, because it was kind of low key, but sweet and rural at the same time. There was not a lot of action in the street at all when we were driving around. There were people just kind of coming and going. There were maybe 3 cars above or in front of you or behind you at any given time, maybe. There were lots of really cute Christmas lights and lots of storefronts that had nice holiday decorations, which I thought was really adorable. And then there were just lots of little local hole-in-the-wall places that I thought were really cute, and I wish we'd got more time to explore those.
Yeah.
Totally. The downtown of Manitowoc was simply charming.
I want to say it reminded you of Troy, New York. You said it was cute and small and charming. It reminded me of a different Troy being cute, small, and charming. Troy Sivan.
Oh my God.
I know a cute little Troy who's smart and charming. Brad Pitt.
His character was not in Troy.
his name was not Troy,
but he was in the movie Troy.
Okay, well, speaking of a box office disaster, guys, we tried to go see Uncut Gems while we were in Manitowoc. No one's showing it.
Yeah, no one's showing it, but Joker was still legitimately in theaters.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
Joker reference number 2 on this recording podcast. Interesting.
I got the Joker on the brain. I'm the Prince of Madness.
We saw the lake. I think it's Lake Michigan, right up in Manitowoc. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, we saw Lake Michigan from a different angle, and we saw it at night. What a dark abyss.
An absolutely dark hole off
But
the
beautiful.
shore of Wisconsin. It was inky blackness in a really gorgeous way. And I think something that's great about coming into a small town up here up north is that there's not a lot of that nighttime light pollution. It's just dark and it feels like nighttime, which is just not true in the city, especially in one where we, the city that never sleeps.
I think one thing that bothers me
Chicago.
about Manitowoc or cities like Manitowoc is how I don't want to say normal or simple they are. It's super homogenized and everything feels kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's super cute, and there are a lot of these nice village houses that clearly have been going or have existed within families for generations, but it all seems so cookie cutter and kind of strange.
Well, you want to talk about cookie cutter and homogeny. I mean, how about the fact that all the gingerbread people there were vanilla flavored? This is a very white place,
Lots of gingerbread houses or ones that look like them.
Yeah, I think it can't be overlooked that while, in history there were a lot of German and European settlers coming to this area, it is still very white. And I understand that. I mean, it is cold as fuck up here and there's not that much to do. So why would you and your family move up here for no reason? But I don't know. Hopefully in the future we get a little bit more intermingling of cultures up here in Wisconsin.
Actually, I think it kind of makes sense. I thought I read somewhere on the history of Green Bay that a bunch of Belgians moved into the area of Manitowoc and Green Bay.
And Anthony, you still couldn't find your favorite beer here? Interesting.
Well, I think we've talked a bit about the sites of Manitowoc.
I think there's
yeah.
one thing left, and I think it's the sound, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. Are we doing it? Balance? We've got the sense of balance. That's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about what did y'all hear?
The sounds of Manitowoc. Interesting take, because I think you have to take into consideration that for the most of the time we were inside of a car, in Luigi's restaurant.
I heard like small little puffs of air coming from Stuart's butthole.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
I heard like a couple slight Wisconsin accents while there, and I thought that was really interesting. But also, like, just one thing that was super interesting to me, coming from a city like Chicago, the city that never sleeps, it's the capital of the United States of America, was just that deafening silence. When we were driving around, there was no honking, no beeping, no tooting.
Well, there were a few toots.
It was just like...
Hey, the smell segment's over.
Okay, all right.
It was kind of just quiet, There was so much like empty space, which was refreshing in a way to me, but it was also... I think if I was like alone with my thoughts for a little too long, it would do that sensory deprivation tank thing where
you'd go
you start having
fever.
visions.
Yeah. You'd go insane. You'd probably kill 3 dozen people, and then you'd be made a murderer, eh?
The silence was probably helped by all the snow that fell on the ground last night.
Mm-hmm. A nice sprinkling of snow for the early morning in Manitowoc and Green Bay. But I mean, like, I think we should just sum up Manitowoc very quickly in a touchy-feely segment.
Sure.
And move on to its sister city, Green Bay, where we spent today.
You want to go around in the circle, starting with Anthony to you, Stuart, to Camden, then to myself, talk about how Manitowoc makes us feel?
God, I don't want to do that so bad.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I really liked it. As I said, it was like a cute, kind of homey, sleepy town. And I got a great night of sleep there. I really enjoyed my time with y'all. I definitely would not have wanted to spend an extended period of time there, just because we would have run out of things to do so quickly, and we probably would have just become regulars at the video store, just cranking out CBD constantly,
cranking out all sorts of stuff.
You couldn't get me to leave. I'd be on the floor so relaxed.
I really liked it. I enjoyed my time there, and I would go back to spend a night.
Stuart?
I want to explore Manitowoc by breaking its name down into its different parts. Man, it, toe, walk. First, man. I think this is a place of human perseverance. I think it's hard to live up here. I think the temperature is just 0 degrees, and so like it takes. I hate to be so masculine in describing this, but it takes like a manly, hard spirit, I think, to survive up here. And I think that that sort of hard work that you have living every day in such a cold, barren place is what creates such friendliness among the people. Like you're all struggling against the same man versus world.
Yeah, you're kind of pushed together in the warm recesses of your home.
Exactly. But let's move on. Man, it. The clown from It, Pennywise. I surely felt penny foolish walking around Manitowoc. It was very cheap. I love the prices around there. I think going into a small town, it's always nice when you leave the city and you're like, Jesus, they don't have like 14% sales tax in Manitowoc. They just give you your CBD with no taxes at all. It's unbelievable.
Hi, Georgie. I have CBD.
Well, that's exactly what
we all float down here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's if the clown from It likes CBD. Let's move on.
We all vibe down here.
Let's move on to toe. Man, it, toe.
Oh
my toes were freezing off in the cold temperatures, and I could definitely feel that. There were a few times when I did that that toe curl punch thing that you do in your shoes where you're like, all right, let's just get some blood flowing down into these little Piggly Wigglies. Speaking of Piggly Wigglies and toes and walking, Manitou walk. It seemed like a walkable downtown. I really liked that there was like a river that flowed directly in and sort of split up the town into 2 halves. But there was a lot going on both sides of the river, including a couple of museums. Of course, the Maritime Museum that we passed by. I think in the summer, you put a little farmer's market around there downtown. I bet this is just the perfect place to hang out with your family and young kids. Man-it-to-walk.
Camden, what'd you think?
I really wish homie at the Continental Breakfast took his Manitos and walked back to his room to get some fucking shoes.
Wow. Absolutely savage. Camden.
Thanks. Manitowoc was cool. Anthony mentioned it reminded him of a town back in upstate New York. And I think all of us mentioned that it reminded us of small places, small, intimate, right off the highway exit, towns and strips in the places we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Manitowoc, Wisconsin is this little slice of Americana in that way.
And also a lot like the clown from it takes the form of the thing we fear the most, our small towns from childhood, eh?
Certainly. And to that end, it all looked the same, like Tim mentioned. Tim, did you mention that it all felt homogenous?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I was just making sure I was citing my sources correctly. It all felt very much the same. But on the more positive flip side of that coin, it was familiar. It's also along Lake Michigan, which we know very well in Chicago. It was driving 2.5 hours up and still seeing the same body of water. It's kind of cool seeing how small the world really is.
It's how those fuckers in California must always feel on the PCH, eh?
Yeah, 2.5 hours, 1 hour for each man.
Oh my God.
You know what? I just want to say, after Pennywise is done, there's only going to be 2 men left in there. He loves those little kids.
Oh, God.
I'm done, Tim.
Manitowoc.
Hey, Angus.
Charlie.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, you go, Tim.
I really enjoyed Manitowoc. The hotel was kind of located like on the outskirts. We were right across the street from a little Minecraft looking hut called Fast Taco, which I thought was pretty cool. But the downtown is really, really quaint. And I looked up some prices on Zillow, and I believe the Statesmen boys can go rent a house, 2-bedroom, 2-bath for less than $600 a month.
Yeah, it's truly insane. And I just want to also put out there that if you've ever been the person calling the bids at an auction, you could be described as a fast taco as well.
Yeah, and if you've ever been the person calling the family video in Manitowoc, you've been told that they do in fact sell CBD.
And you could also be called a very sad person. Hey, I'm looking to check something out, and by the way, you guys got CBD, right?
I'm really sad I missed all the action at Family Video. I was too busy in the back sniffing the Nintendo Switch case and getting super high off of those CBD laced Switch case.
Camden heard that if you lick those Switch cartridges, it tastes bad, and he just would not stop trying it. Even after like the first 4 tasted bad, he was like, "No, this next one, I'm sure."
It was for the pod, guys.
Well, we have to complete the picture, like complete painting the picture of our experience. We have the perfect opportunity to establish that bridge between the two cities, as we did last night, because let's not forget that our most key experience actually spurred from a phone call you made by stepping outside at Luigi's Fine Dining.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. So, yeah, we were in Luigi's Fine Dining, and I don't even know how we decided to do this.
Honestly, I think it was maybe like somebody made a joke of like, oh, we should go see the improv teams in Green Bay.
Oh,
and, it was like, it was a ha-ha rib tickler because,
I wasn't joking. I thought it would be a nice opportunity.
No, Anthony definitely said, let's go see these dumbass, empty-headed improvisers in Green Bay. No, we were like, let's go find, like, there's one comedy club in the kind of area of Green Bay, and I think we were all like, should we go see a show, or should we, like, ask if we can perform, or can we see what's going on? And then, Tim, you took some major initiative.
Yeah, so we looked up some local comedy stores around Manitowoc, and we stumbled upon this little place called Comedy City, which is this lovely little place, and I think it's De Pere.
De Pere, yeah. Not in Manitowoc. We did have to come up to Green Bay early.
Yeah, so we went up north from Manitowoc to go to De Pere, and we met these lovely people who run this little theater in this little tiny town that kind of is resemblant of the Manitowoc downtown.
Very cool
and
spot.
Went to the back. They invited us, or I called them up to make sure that it was, to ask if we could even perform. And they were so welcoming and inviting, and they invited us over the phone. And when we got there, they were so welcoming. They let us have the second spot, and then we did a group jam after the show. It was delightful.
Yeah, it was incredible how they played right into that stereotype of Midwestern acceptance, where we made a random call to a random theater where we don't know anyone and just said hey, we're a couple of podcasters from Chicago and we'd love to come do some improv with y'all. And they were like, yes, come do it. We have a slot for you. Come do it. It was wild. They brought us right in. They made us feel at home. And they gave us some great stage time in front of a bunch of people who I don't think normally see a lot of long-form improv at all.
Or comedy in general. They were definitely just out for the drinks. They were having a good time.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people off the street, which is something that you really don't get an opportunity to do when you are in such a comedy-saturated environment like Chicago. Everybody, even if they're happy to go to a show, they still have a little tinge of jaded feelings towards it, just because they've seen it all,
It's kind of hey, everybody in this city has seen TJ and Dave, so your college show is not going to impress me in any way,
Yeah, and even if you're not an asshole, a bitter asshole,
me, yeah.
Even if you're not a bitter asshole, you still you're so familiar with the form that it doesn't feel fresh. It's tougher to surprise you and get one over. But I thought this crowd was really funny. They were definitely not used to seeing comedy because they kept shouting out in the middle of the shows and stuff. They weren't heckling or being rude, but they were trying to participate at weird times.
I do want to give one specific shout out to a guy who, as they were taking an intermission after the house team set, he was raising his hand and asked them a question about something that was in the scene and to see if it was available on Amazon. And he said it like it was a joke, but it thoroughly got no laughs in the room, and no one, everyone was uncomfortable.
Hey,
about
is
it.
that something I could get on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, it was wild. I was shocked it wasn't Jeff Bezos in the crowd.
It was fun. That comedy club was so cute. I really liked DePere in general. I thought that downtown area was super, super walkable. I would have loved to go back there in the light of day and hit up all those shops. You could have got some great holiday shopping done, or just killed a day just enjoying yourself, bopping around.
Yeah, I think let's use DePere to explore the second of DePere cities that we found.
Well, actually, it kind of helps us wrap up the Manitowoc or even the Green Bay, get into the Green Bay area, because they were so accommodating. Anthony went into the green room and asked them a few questions, and even got some recordings.
We got up close and personal with the team at Comedy City DePere.
Yeah.
So Anthony, what did you ask these fine improvisers at this comedy club?
They were all super friendly. They were all a little bit older than us, but they were really generous with their time. They were really happy to have us. And we once again, we thank you for letting us come and crash your show and do a set with y'all. We had a blast. But they came with me into the green room, and I asked them each one at a time to slate their name, where they were from, and just tell us about one of their favorite senses of Wisconsin that was meaningful to them. So we could play those clips.
Hell yeah.
Hi, my name's Jen. I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and my favorite sense is taste. And the best place here in Green Bay is Hinterland Brewery. Grand Cru 22, all the way.
Hey, this is Melissa. I'd say a scent I really like is smell. And the most frequent smell I see here in brilliant Wisconsin would probably be the smell of cow poop. It's everywhere. Can't escape it.
Hi, my name is Nick, and my favorite sense is sound, and my favorite sound straight out of the state of Wisconsin is the squeaky sound of a cheese curd.
My name is Erica. I'm from Green Bay, but I'm from the other side of the state originally. My favorite taste in all of Wisconsin is the traditional Norwegian food that my family makes for Sittemai every year.
Hey, I'm Chad from Green Bay. My favorite sense is taste, and it's got to be that of a Wisconsin brandy old-fashioned sweet.
Oh, a Wisconsin old-fashioned brandy sweet. Sounds like my crush in middle school, eh?
Yeah, they were they were
brandy.
They were very, very sweet people, and it was really nice of them to do those interviews. We really did enjoy our time there, and there was some really interesting information in there. I want to point out, everybody's been saying Wisconsin, even the boys in this room are saying Wisconsin smells like cow shit. I haven't smelled a single hint of cow shit on our entire trip.
Do you think it's a chance because you always smell like it?
Whoa,
Stuart, way to get absolutely aced, my man.
Stuart, Anthony's been suplexing you all day. He's not going to suplex you during the record, man.
Honestly, I don't think we've
so angry at you.
I don't think we've experienced cow shit yet, but I think it is so common. It's like the middle of the winter, so it's not like all the cows are outside or anything. So I think I think the amount of like farmland that we drove through, it is inevitable that there is just a lot of pie here and there, eh?
Fine, but hey, I shower daily, and I use Old Spice. I use Old Spice Swagger, so I don't smell like cow poop. I smell great.
Yeah, you smell like swag. Gentlemen have class, but boys have swag.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so we woke up the next day after we fell asleep in our lovely hotel in Manitowoc, and the next morning we smelled that barefoot man's smelly feet at breakfast.
Motherfucker.
But guys, then we went up to Green Bay, and you guys, Anthony and Stuart, had a wildly different day than Camden and I.
Yes, it's going to be tough for us to talk about all the damn senses we've experienced because for me, sensory overload at the damn Packer
Seriously.
game. Yeah. Anthony and I started our day pretty early when we got into Green Bay. We were trying to hit the tailgating. A lot of bald people here in this state.
I couldn't tell. Everybody was wearing hats. It was like 16 degrees.
Yeah.
We noticed that in Luigi's. There were a ton of bald people in Luigi's.
Everybody was bald.
16 degrees. Is that the temperature, or are we measuring how far we are from knowing Kevin Bacon?
Wow.
Well, you know, all the
Jesus Christ.
we all know that the Packers fans are also known as cheeseheads.
Yeah.
And they gotta keep that shit bald so that none of the hair is slipping sliding around so that their cheese falls off. It's gotta stick on there.
You don't want to get
point.
You don't want to get hair in your cheese. Jesus.
Keep the hair out the cheese.
So immediately, like we pull up, you dropped us off. We hopped out of the car, go into the parking lot with our giant case of spotted cow in hand. And that's all we were really bringing to the table. And we just see a sea of people.
Yeah.
You know, it's green and yellow, everything. There are a couple Bears fans scattered here and there. But as far as the eye could see, just fans everywhere, hanging out by their cars, grilling, tents. We saw houses like across the street from the stadium, which is insane. It's truly just like plopped down.
It's like
right in the middle of a residential area.
You could throw a pass from the stadium to the backyard of a house.
And just to clarify, you guys went to a Packers game.
Yes, we went to a Packers-Bears game, the 200th matchup between these two teams, a famous rivalry.
Oh, wow.
And it was also Fan Appreciation Day, so a very nice man in a cheese head came from seat to seat, kissed us on the cheeks, and said, "I appreciate you."
Wait, what?
That was nothing you need to know about. But let's talk about the sights, sounds, and smells and tastes, I suppose, Anthony. Let's just get into all these categories of Lambo, and then we can talk a little bit about what you guys spent the time doing.
So, we see the sea of people. We're a little bit intimidated, we're trying to find a foothold.
Very intimidating, but did you smell anything immediately? Because I know I immediately locked on to grilling.
Yeah, that sense of, that smell of like fire and meat in the air.
My sixth sense, the knowing where weenies are at all times.
There's 4 of them in this room, if you didn't know.
Well,
5. I have a corn dog for later.
All right.
Is that a corn dog in your pocket?
So I I definitely smelled the grilling. I definitely smelled some beer. And I could hear a bunch of like boisterous chanting.
A low roar, just generally.
No one was being over the top though. It was a very respectful, cheery crowd. Everybody was in a great mood.
Everybody was so nice. For the listener at home, I just want to put it out there that Anthony is a lifelong New York Giants fan.
Absolutely.
And I have been, since I was a very little boy, a lifelong Packer fan. And it might be a little confusing for long-term listeners who are like, why you're from Colorado and you moved to Chicago. None of this adds up. But to make a long story very, very short and very, very cute, when I was 3 years old, I believe, and my brother was 5, my dad sat us both down, and an NFL season was just beginning, and he wanted to share the sport with his sons, so he had both of us pick one team that we would follow throughout the season, and my brother picked the Dolphins because it was his favorite animal, and he has hated football ever since. And I picked Green Bay because green was my favorite color. And at the time, that was one of the only things there was to know about me as a child. So I made a great choice, and I've been just like on the wagon for 20 years now. I would never say that I'm like a born and raised Packer fan, but I felt so right at home immediately inside of Lambeau. And so much of that was because of the attitudes of these fans that you're talking about, Anthony.
Yeah, I honestly felt right at home there too. They really just welcome you right in. It's a very crowded area, but it's not dense. Like no one's in your personal space, like in a way where it feels aggressive and annoying. Like it's all just like a real camaraderie energy that like really speaks to why football has lasted for so long as a spectator sport.
I think especially in this area too. I think there are some stadiums and some sports experiences that are just genuinely awful. There are bad fan bases, there are bad stadiums, there are bad teams, but I think what's so interesting about the Packers and about Lambeau and about Green Bay in general is that for so long, it has been a source of positivity for these people who are living up here in the cold-ass north, and they just celebrate the joy of that experience. And as newbies coming into the experience, we were welcomed with that same joy when we joined a couple of locals for brats and beers and discussion.
Yeah, man, we did walk right up to a couple dudes who were grilling in their green and yellow overalls, cheese head hats. And we offered them a beer or two in exchange for a brat, and the guy basically like he had this look on his face.
He was hesitant.
Yeah, what are you talking about? And we were kind of like, oh, is this?
I was
cool?
worried. I was like, oh no, they tricked us. They're going to be mean to us.
And it was basically, what are you talking about? Why would we ask you for a beer? Have a brat, you silly idiot.
Wow. Oh my God. That is actually such a reverse story. That's so cool.
It was so sweet. The people were so glowingly nice.
Yeah.
We were just, shooting the shit with them, sharing our beer. They were sharing their beer dip. Like they had beer and cheese dip that was dynamite. It was simple to make. The guy gave me the full recipe.
Yeah, you might be calling it a beer dip, but for me it was a beard dip with how manly these guys' faces were. These guys have big beards.
Yeah, they were rugged, but they were really cool. And as we were talking with them, their dad hopped out of the truck.
Oh man.
And he was just the sweet ancient man with a big beard. Very Santa Claus kind of type.
He was the kind of dude who had a mustache stained by chewing tobacco at some point in his life. He is one of those like old dudes who talked slow, was very friendly, gave me like a half side hug, and told me a story about how 50 years ago he was watching the Ice Bowl on TV and going like, why on earth would anyone ever live in Green Bay? And then 10 years after that and 40 years from today, he moved to Green Bay and has never left. That's how welcoming and different. Like, that's somebody from South Carolina, a relatively warm state, coming up here to the north and just finding a home and making a family. And him and his sons were there. And God, the way they accepted us in, and even they gave us a clip that I think we can listen to of somebody named Roy telling us his favorite scents. Cam, do we have that?
We do. But before that, I just wanted to say, when we pulled up to Lambeau, I was seeing a lot of green, but I wasn't smelling a lot of green. Maybe all those bald cheeseheads could use a different kind of plug.
Hell, Christ!
Here is Stu and Anthony's word with Master Roy.
I'm Roy. I'm from Neenah, Wisconsin, and my favorite sense today especially is the taste of the mighty fine cow that you have, the mighty fine brat, and the taste of victory over the Chicago Bears.
Oh,
Go Pack Go!
We can say that multiple times. Thank you very much, Roy.
And a little preview of a very inebriated Stewart.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so we did pull up with a 24 rack of spotted cow. We handed out a handful of them, but we took those suckers down right before we went in because that beer is just so drinkable. And the energy was just so strong.
I was like, I just need to drink these beers. I need to be a part of this. I need to lose any and all inhibition I might have to becoming one of these folk. I just want to, we were talking about the homogeny being a bad thing earlier, but at this point, I wanted to be sucked into the quicksand and I wanted to become sand myself.
Yeah, so we were turning the fuck up. We were trying to be rowdy for this game. And so we were polishing off these beers as we were walking in. There was a big crowd heading into our entrance. But it moved. It was moving. It wasn't sluggish. Everybody was super positive. We made a bunch more friends in the line who were excited to talk to us.
Yeah, and they were also, I think, we keep saying it, but god damn, are these people nice.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Very friendly. And you know, with such a strict rivalry, like with the Packers and the Bears, you might expect people to kind of be like, you know, harassing each other a little bit and drawing back and forth and swearing at each other, like, you know, insulting each other. There really wasn't any of that. You know, there would kind of just be like a little like buddy fist shaking, like, oh, you know, but it was all like very warm and magnetic and everybody was just there to have a great time. We did go into to the stadium and it was immediately shocking to me because I'm used to going to football games at MetLife Stadium or even Soldier Field, which is still not like a typical stadium, but MetLife is so large that no matter where you're sitting, you feel like you are almost in a different area than the field itself. Like you don't necessarily feel directly connected, and Lambeau is so small and intimate.
Yeah, Lambeau feels like you're watching a high school football game.
For real.
Wild how tiny it feels, and yet there are like 40, 50,000 people packed into this thing. Like, it was just a lovely time, and I wanted to expand just a little bit on that idea of the rivalry. Like, somebody last night at the improv show mentioned it as the friendliest rivalry in sports, where it's like, both of these people have agreed that this thing matters, us playing each other in this sport. But what they haven't agreed is that the results of it matter in any way. Like, there were guys dressed in Bears jerseys and someone in a Green Bay jersey would go like, whoa, what are you doing wearing that here? And then they'd like pat them on the back and kind of hug and they'd laugh together. And that was the ribbing that was going on. It was genuinely just like, hey, we're all here to like have fun. Who gives a shit? It's just a football game.
Yeah. And like any sporting event, you could definitely like, you know, the ingredients are there for it to get toxic, but we genuinely did not see that at all.
So you guys have seen a lot of stuff walking into Lambeau. You tasted some stuff kind of before.
Brats.
The brats were great. The beer cheese was great.
What were you guys? You guys smelled the grill. What did the inside of Lambeau smell like?
Oh, it has that great stadium smell where like you can smell the urea of all the piss that's being flushed into the toilets in that area. But you're also smelling like the bleach of the way it's like constantly cleaned down. And then plus all of that expensive, disgusting food that's being cooked in the hallways. Like, it really, none of the things are good on their own. They're all bad smells. But combining them into one place gives such a sense of memory for me that just like unlocks going to like a football game with my dad as a kid. It like is immediately a very warm and homey feeling.
Yeah, I smelled spilled beer every single step of the way.
Yes.
It was really pervasive. It was like right up in my nose. And it was kind of like making me a little ill towards the end of the game just because it kept getting worse and worse as people were like, you know, like jumping up and down with celebration, you know, because of course the Packers won.
That's right. And speaking of other people jumping up and down in celebration, you also jumped up and down in celebration and spilled your beer on a man in front of you.
He did not care at all. He was very sweet. It was a total accident. It was clumsy. I'm a clumsy person. And the thing is, there's not like isolated seating. No. It's all bench seating.
Yeah, which I was shocked by.
Insane.
Yeah, I was like, how is this the modern era? And it's just like a bunch of grandstands around a fucking field.
I wasn't like one of the bigger people who was there. You Wisconsin is like a cheese state. Like there are some very large people, and it wasn't necessarily like the most accommodating, but no one was like, elbowing you out of their way or anything. You just kind of fit in like one big family.
Yeah, you got wedged right in there and you felt the warmth of the two people on your sides, and you were all standing at the same times to cheer and sitting at the same times to protest the refs.
Now, what we heard was like the deafening roar of fans constantly.
Of course.
I did hear a very polite man ask me to sit down so that his son could see.
You said, "Hey, buddy, would you mind sitting down so that my little one could see?"
Yeah, and I instantly felt terrible and sad for the next 20 minutes.
But even that, like in any other sports arena or something, that man would go, "Hey, big guy, sit the fuck down. My kid's here." They'd be an asshole about it. But that guy was like friendly as could be about asking if you could sit for a second.
Yeah, and we heard all of our neighbors, we heard, oh my God, this woman in front of us, and this is a direct quote, okay? I'm not really condoning this. This woman very loudly, very drunkenly goes, Aaron Rodgers like messed up a play. And she goes,
well, hold on. I want to explain exactly. I know exactly what you're about to say, but there was a little bit of pretext, and it was she looked at me and I was cheering about Rodgers in some way, and she looked to me and was like, "Yeah, you got his mustache. You a fan?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to keep warm with this thing." Aaron Rodgers, famous for sometimes having a pretty big mustache. Anthony, what did she say in response to these things?
She goes, "Danica should suck his dick more."
Whoa.
The most out-of-pocket thing that possibly... It was insane.
She made multiple references to riding his mustache, and like she wants to be a better fuck doll for Aaron Rodgers. And honestly,
wow, Stuart.
There is nothing wrong with a woman being sexually aggressive. I have no problems with this. Women can be as horny as men, and for you guys to say that that's not right is gross.
The way you phrased that was insane.
Calling anybody a fuck doll
What the hell?
Would you not call me a fuck doll?
I would call you a fuck dog.
Would you call me the fuck puppet of the Statesman?
Anyway, I was hesitant to even bring that story up. I just had to include that because it was the exact opposite. It was like the chaotic evil of of the like lawful good of that guy telling me to sit down.
Yeah.
But it was a total blast. Camden, speaking of delightful sounds from the game, Stu and I recorded a couple clips when we were at our most drunk. So I do apologize. I don't remember any of this content.
I've also not heard these. It's been about 12 hours since they were recorded.
Yeah, and when I say I don't remember, I like we weren't blackout drunk, but like we just weren't like thinking about what we were saying.
Not at all.
We were caught up in the hype of the game.
But I'm sure the content is fucking funny.
Well, let's hear it. Find out.
How do you feel, Camden? It seems like you're hesitating.
You guys were talking about lawful good versus chaotic evil. These recordings are straight up chaotic neutral.
Hell yeah, baby!
No.
I'm very excited.
So we got this first one, and then we can let it simmer and move on to the second one. We got two recordings. One seems like it was taken right about halftime, and the last one was taken closer to the end of the game.
Perfect.
Let's go right down into the Lambeau Field with Stu and Anthony, a 24-pack of Spotted Cow Deep.
Sorry.
Hello, Statesman audience. This is Stuart Highcar.
And Anthony Rossi.
And we are here in row 154, seats 7 and 8 of the Green Bay Packers' 200th anniversary game against the Bears.
And, this are both our first times at Lambeau. Everybody's been so wonderful. Everybody's been embracing us. We had a ton of beer, a ton of the food. It's been wonderful. Everybody's so great.
I've never had a better experience popping my cherry than coming here to Lambeau. Everyone, so sensitive, so nice, so lovely. It doesn't matter that it's the biggest feud in football. We're all just here to have fun in the cold. God, I fucking love it.
The Packers are currently up 21-3. They have the ball back. Let's see what they can do.
Aaron Rodgers, an absolute god. Look, if I was Danica Patrick, I guess I'd suck on his little mustache. Okay. Anthony, if you could have disgusting relations with any NFL quarterback, who would it be?
I don't know, man. My ties tell me to say Daniel Jones, but I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers is the slinger. I can tell you that.
He's absolutely throwing it, but I bet if Daniel Jones throws down that pipe, regardless of what it is, we'll get back to you guys at the end of the game, and we'll tell you how it turns out, how we feel, and how many beers we drank in total throughout the day.
I don't know if I could tell you at this point. I've just been lost in the sauce. I've had so many, but I've just been having a great time here at Lambeau. What a wonderful NFL experience. This is what the NFL is all about. Football is great, man.
Regardless, we're all here as a family, as a town, as a city, as a country. This is America, baby. Fuck the impeachment. Fuck all these votes. Fuck people on the left or the right. We're all here to celebrate one cold sporting event.
Wow.
And it feels fucking great.
Interesting.
Good Lord. We'll see you soon, Statesmen listeners.
All right. Hey,
You
buddy,
really
can you
all-
sit down? Little man's trying to see.
Was it weird that I feel like I became a moderate when I drank.
It sounds like you really did. That was kind of strange. You didn't know what side of the impeachment you were on.
Centrism on my podcast?
You really are a fuck doll, aren't you, Stu?
I'm an absolute. Whoever's fucking me the best, I'll take it and I'll give
Okay,
it.
goddamn.
What, dude? Why can't you just accept that I can be sexually
Lecherous.
fun?
Oh, boy.
Do we have another?
Hey.
What do you guys think of that? You guys got to hear it firsthand from us. So, what are you thinking, Tim?
Of the recording?
Sure.
I mean, I got to witness you pretty much shortly after the game where you were really, really drunk. Probably even drunker than that recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like you guys had a really, really fun time at the game. And I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, it was really, really a blast. We were having so much fun. And while we were recording that, straight up, no one even batted an eye or looked at us at all. Like it was as though we were recording it in a private room. But you could hear all that action. Like this was full swing of the game.
And
That intimate, huh?
Yeah, the sound quality was as good as recording in a private room as well.
Honestly, it sounded kind of good.
Yeah.
Shout out. I won't name the brand of phone that has such a sophisticated microphone input, but
Rest in peace, Steve Jobs.
yeah, rip. I want to go back to the way Stu pronounced the word bears
Yeah, it's a good choice.
because he drags it through the mud, much like the beloved Da Bears.
Ah, yes.
Ah, nice.
Yes. Of the Green Bay Packers' 200th anniversary game against the Bears.
Against the Bears.
Yeah, I definitely gave it its own, like, it sounds like I had said a different team and then we dubbed over the word Bears later.
Well, Camden and I had a pretty radically different day from the both of you.
Yeah, man. I mean, what were you guys up to?
Well, we dropped you guys off at Lambeau Field, and pretty much shortly after that, we just kind of went to downtown Green Bay and kind of spent a day there.
Downtown Green Bay.
Yeah. Camden, what did we end up doing?
Yeah, we put on Downtown by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
That's very true.
And-
Fuck yeah.
And we bebopped around and hit, I think, pretty much every thrift joint that was open.
Did you rock steady at all?
Absolutely, we did.
Yeah, so I guess the first smell of Green Bay that we really got was the smell of like old things.
Mhm.
Ah,
yeah,
yes.
secondhand items. You know, this kind of like dusty, papery, parchmenty
Sure,
kind of
you can
smell.
smell the ghosts inside of the clothing and whatnot.
Yeah, and
Our last stop at Goodwill, the men's shirt section was a little farty.
oh man, that one smelled like farts. We went to 3 or 4. Did we go to 4 thrift shops?
3. We hit 2 locations of St. Vincent de Paul's thrift.
Awesome.
Wait, St. Vincent was there?
Yes.
No, yeah, my dad.
And then the Goodwill shortly after that. But at St. Vincent, well, I got to shout out St. Vincent de Paul's thrift stores. They have their own like 90-second jingle that they play.
Can you give us like a sort of how that would sound?
It was like you can buy it all at St. Vincent de Paul.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
But
pretty rad.
But there was like a verse and a chorus before that.
You look in your closet and things look bad. You ask your mom and you begged your dad, I need some new clothes.
New clothes.
But they don't have to be new.
Not due to me, but new to you. Get them secondhand.
Okay, guys, you had your Green Bay experience.
Sorry.
Let Camden and I talk about ours, okay? So yeah, after we went to the fucking thrift stores, Camden and I were getting a little hungry, and so we decided to, maybe we'll go to a nice local joint. How about some barbecue? So we go to this place called Zozo's Barbecue, right? That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this really nondescript kind of it really reminded me of a place that the 7th Cavalry from the Watchmen would go and meet. Because on the side of it, it said Fraternity of Zozo's Barbecue.
Fraternal Order of, and then over the painted Fraternal Order of that was stenciled on there was this banner that said Zozo's Barbecue.
Are you sure that it was Zozo's Barbecue and it wasn't No-No's Barbecue and the letters had shifted due to weather?
Yeah, Nick Luigi came up with Green Bay. But luckily for us, the Zozo's Barbecue was closed, so we didn't step into any, interdimensional kind of shit that the 7th Cavalry has planned for everybody.
Yeah, but I've heard Zozo's Barbecue is almost demonic with its flavors, named after, of course, Pazuzu himself.
Okay.
So
Zozo's being closed, Tim and I took the time to actually take a photo outside of Zozo's before going inside, just to find the door was dead bolted.
Yeah, thank God too.
So we ended up at Titletown Brewing, a local brewery here in Green Bay, and had some tasty local brews.
Absolutely
nice.
freaking delightful. This place is located in an old-fashioned train station house. They gutted the thing. The train doesn't run through that part of town anymore.
the train don't come by here no more.
Train don't come down here much no more. But they serve amazing beer. Camden got a dark beer. I'm not sure what did you get.
A dark German lager, a dark German ale.
Yeah, and I got a honey blonde ale kind of a thing. Very, very tasty. Got some cheese curds. I got a brat with a bunch of really sea mustard on it. Super delicious.
Hell yeah.
And I had a severely redeeming pasta over the penne caprese that I had at Luigi's.
That's good to hear.
That's
mac
good.
and cheese with bacon,
Hey.
right?
Hell yeah. Whenever you show up to a place that's a brewery with an in-house restaurant and they have a house mac and cheese, gotta have it.
Yeah, that shit's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually am excited to hear you say you went to Titletown. I was looking at that on the list when we were looking at restaurants for tonight. I actually had a beer from there last night at the Comedy Club.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
And I had the Green 19 IPA.
Yeah.
The gentleman who recommended that said, we don't drink Spotted Cow. And I was like, okay, then what do you drink? And he pointed me in that direction. It was way too hoppy for me, but it was a great beer, very solid. Smelled really hoppy, was kind of bitter. But it was a great taste. It was definitely a well-made beer, just not really my thing.
That's actually really interesting considering its name is Green 19. Of course, that's something that Aaron Rodgers is known to yell when he's at the line. And it actually makes sometimes people on the defense hop over the line of scrimmage and get a foul.
Christ.
Jeez.
Wow.
Well, it is true. That is true.
Sorry to cut in, but that's really awesome.
I'm not sorry.
So is this as Tim said, this historic train station had a faint musty smell.
Yeah, the bathroom was probably the most frigid bathroom I'd ever been inside of. I sat down on this thing and my ass hurt.
Did it stick to the porcelain?
I honestly,
Christmas story.
I honestly thought I had to peel myself off the porcelain, but luckily I just came out of the bathroom with a cold butt for the next 15 minutes.
I only went back there to pee, and you could have called that bathroom the tiny boy room.
Wow.
Yeah, so then Camden and I took another picture outside of the what was it called? Title House?
Titletown.
Yeah, we went outside Titletown, took a picture, and then explored some more thrift shops. And shit, what the fuck else did we do, Camden? We went to the hotel, checked in, and picked up these fools.
Yeah, that was about it. Yeah, so I do want to say one last sight at the thrift shop that we brought home. In addition to some sweet vintage tech for Tim and myself, I came home with a Yamaha keyboard.
Yeah,
and
I came home with 3 cameras.
Tim got some sweet-ass cameras. We also brought home some pretty obscene T-shirts for the two of you, Stu and Anthony.
Yeah. And I unwrapped them while we were hammer drunk. Stu fell asleep immediately in the back of the car, so I had to do the grand unveiling by myself. You got me a Minions t-shirt that does not fit me.
Yeah, but you love it.
I love it. And I wish it fit. But then there was also like a green Power Ranger t-shirt you got me. So definitely making me look like a very unique type of guy.
Stu, what's your favorite t-shirt that we got you?
I don't know what t-shirts you got me. I think one of them has Jay Leno's face on it and like his name on the back of it as if it's a jersey for Jay Leno. And I think it's a denim shirt.
Precisely.
I hope it's a denim shirt. I want to ask you guys, you said that you got some vintage tech. Are you talking about his first album, Tech Nine's The Calm Before the Storm?
Okay. Well,
also, hey, you went to Titletown? We went to Titletown last night. Freaking family video.
Friggin' family video, dude.
Shortly after scooping those t-shirts and checking in here at the Yola Loft in Green Bay, we got a call from Stu, probably blacked out at this point.
I called you
asking us to come scoop you guys from Lambeau, probably shortly after this occurred.
Hey everybody, it's just an absolute pleasure to be with you. We're coming in here into the fourth quarter of the game. Green Bay's up. Everybody's feeling good. My toes are on fire. It's unbelievable. I just can't. It's an unbelievable feeling. It's indescribable. I hope I can do it better a little bit live on mic, but here I am again, baby. Anthony, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Stu spit all over my phone while recording, but hey, you can't expect anything else when he's excited about his home team winning. Everybody's fucking fired up. Everybody's singing the local song, Roll Out the Barrel.
Roll out the barrel, baby, because the gang's all here, and I'm not talking about the Suicide Squad.
All right, here we go. Packers drive.
That's the end of the. You tapped out on that joke.
Yeah, I don't remember making that joke, and I don't even know exactly what the joke is.
Yeah, so I was sober in that audio recording. You can tell.
The gang's all here.
Barrel. I definitely was like becoming John Madden.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
Just by my exposure to good old football. Guys, what a great and adventurous day. So after the game, we came back here. Stu passed out face down.
The fuck out.
And farted like crazy.
Stu farted for 2.5 hours straight into sleep.
I've only ever witnessed like
a dog sleep fart.
Yeah.
But then, we got some rest. And we had a long and angry debate about where we would get some dinner. I was looking up, Daddy had to pull out his phone and look up the top-rated restaurants.
Stop.
I wanted to take us to another restaurant called Luigi's, which was a separate place in Green Bay. But I was vetoed, and we wound up getting wings at this really awesome place, Legend Larry's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only Larry who I think is a legend, Larry the Cable Guy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I agree. Any Larrys you guys like?
I like Larry Lobster. He's a legend, a weightlifting champion in the bikini bottom world.
God, his pecs are huge.
I think Larry David is pretty good.
Shout out Larry the Cucumber for all my Veggie Tales fans.
Yeah.
Larry the Cucumber.
He's the homie.
Yeah, we had some hot wings, some teriyaki wings, just a bunch of delicious flavors and sauces and wings.
I had raspberry. What was that? Raspberry. What's that pepper called?
Habanero.
Raspberry habanero. That was a surprising pick to have available on the menu. I also had sweet corn niblets, which I wasn't expecting. They were great.
What do you mean you
really
weren't
delicious.
expecting? You ordered them.
I wasn't expecting them to be on the menu. Have you ever seen that on a menu before?
No. One time I went to a Golden Corral when I was a kid, and I got a bunch of these things that I thought were chicken nuggets, and I bit into it, and it was just wet corn. And that's such a visceral sense memory I have of me like being ashamed.
We almost went to Golden Corral tonight. Camden was really, really pushing for it.
I'm just glad that you didn't find any nibblers on the menu.
I was going to say sweet niblets. I thought this was Wisconsin, not Montana.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And Anthony, you mentioned that you got a raspberry sauce on your wings. Do you also want to talk about how you razzed our berries after that place by taking us to a certain drive-through?
Oh, yeah. We went to
A&W.
A&W, which is not available in Chicago as far as I've seen.
By the way, A&W stands for awesome and wicked.
Yeah, it is awesome and wicked. We got floats. And, we talked a couple episodes back about how people have told me I look like Mikey from Recess, but our guy at the drive-through window was straight up Mikey from Recess.
An absolute clone to the
Dead
point where
ringer.
we saw him and you guys had to hold me in the car because I thought Spinelli was in there too. And I was just so excited to meet her.
No, Spinelli was in the car the entire time. It's me.
You were Spinelli all along.
One really so obviously the taste of the root beer float was great. The taste of the wings and the corn niblets were really great. But one sight that I really enjoyed tonight was walking into the bathroom of this.
Yeah, what'd you see in there?
That just sounds awful. But walking into the bathroom of Legend Larry's and seeing on the wall something that we're going to be hitting on all season long, which is state license plates
Hell
all
yeah.
over the wall. It was really awesome, and we have some great picks coming, guys.
Floor to ceiling in this bathroom. It was quite a sight.
Yeah, normally you only see license plates on the backs of cars, not on the back ends of people near in the bathroom where they poop.
Jesus. So we've explored Green Bay with our eyes, with our nose, with our fucking ears. What else? With our mouths.
Yeah, we did it with our mouths.
So why don't we go around the circle, starting with Anthony to Stuart to Camden, then to myself to talk about how Green Bay makes us feel. Anthony?
I had a lovely time on this entire trip with you. I love a road trip. I love Wisconsin from what I've seen. This was my first Wisconsin experience, and I have to tell you, I would be back in a heartbeat. I really loved it here. I loved spending so much time with all of you, and getting to really dive into like some local favorites like Luigi's and Legend Larry's. Like, these are just like little local pockets, and they feel so like authentic and true to themselves in a way that I absolutely love. And that is all a hallmark of the people here. They're so genuine. They're so much themselves. They're very open and friendly, and magnanimous and generous in a lot of ways. It's unbelievable that we were able to like get on stage with these people with like almost no notice for their show. They were so happy to have us. They were so generous with their slots and their time. And it was really so mind-blowing that all came together. And that this whole trip has been just such a success. That we owe a tremendous amount of credit to Stu for sending this all in motion. And then we owe a tremendous amount of credit to Camden for driving us and for executing all of the like intricate details of recording in the car and recording in the room here. And Tim, we owe you a tremendous amount of credit for being here and looking so cool.
Hey, I called the comedy place.
Yes. We owe you a tremendous amount of credit for calling the comedy place. Y'all owe me a tremendous amount of credit for keeping everybody laughing and tee-hee-heeing this entire time.
That is for sure.
But hey, I really enjoy this place. Green Bay sucked me in. I loved the fan base here. I'm not going to become a Packers fan now, but I would go to a game with a Packers fan anytime. So Green Bay, you've won my heart. Manitowoc, I would come back.
Stuart?
Green Bay, more like Teen Bay. Let's rewind the clocks.
What?
I'm 13, a lovable teenager. Yeah, chill out, you fucking creep. I'm just a simple teenager, and I'm watching the Packers win a Super Bowl. This is, of course, Aaron Rodgers' MVP season. Unbelievable stuff. I remember cheering in my living room so loud. And to think that I've now been teleported to the home base of where that all goes down, where that spirit comes from, the tree of life, an avatar, if you will. Well, it just feels incredible.
Stuart, are you reading off of something? Your head is face down. You're looking at the ground.
That's right. My eyes are closed because I know that if I was to put my head up to the sky, I would cry like seeing God for the first time. An ominous feeling it is to approach something so unbelievable, so homey, so warm. It must be what that child felt when he died and went to heaven and wrote a book about it. Because that kind of feels like I died and went to heaven and wrote a book about it. And you can buy that book on Amazon.com.
Are you talking about The Lovely Bones? What are you talking about?
Why? Speaking of teen bays, okay.
Heaven is for Real is the name of that book.
Heaven is for real. And you know what else is for real? The people of Green Bay. You guys rule. Big shout out. Love you all.
You know
Camden,
what else is for real?
Let's not.
It's going down for real.
Okay, man. Camden.
Sorry. Green Bay.
Teen Bay.
Shut the fuck up. Cheese curd, taste good. Bears defeat, taste bad to some people. Yamaha keyboard, sound good. Stew fart, smell bad.
Huh?
Luigi's, Legend Larry's, Lambo. Lots of L's on this trip, but I feel like we can walk away with a clean and comfy W.
Wow.
Tim?
Green Bay. Would I return to Green Bay? Based on the thrift shop scene, maybe.
What?
What?
What? I'm sorry.
There are a lot of thrift shops that I didn't get to see in Green Bay, but I would certainly come back. I mean, I got 3 cameras. I got an 8mm film camera and 2 point-and-shoot 35mm cameras. And I came away with a steal. I think they only cost $12 total. And so my money wallet in Green Bay, feeling still heavy, crazy. Green Bay, I would come back. If you have any questions or concerns about the great 50 states of the Statesman, reach out to us on Twitter at StatesmanPod, on Facebook and Instagram at Statesman Podcast, or by email at statesmanpodcast@gmail.com. Please like, rate, subscribe, and share the show with your friends because it helps the show out a lot. And check out our Patreon at patreon.com/StatesmanPodcast to support us in all of our other bonus and more fun endeavors. Anthony, Stu, do you have anything else to plug?
Just a Patreon, like recording that episode in the car was one of the most fun things that we've done. And I really think that's such a fun content to listen to because you get to feel like you were right there in the car with us. And just the scale of what we did was wild. So check that out. We're going to record some more Patreon content on the way back. We're probably going to stop at the Cheese Castle if we have time. So it'll be well worth it to check that out. And also, I just want to plug being friends with you guys because this is truly such a rewarding experience.
Yeah, it really has. No doubt. My real touch segment goes out to you guys.
Well, I've got a plug for you, Tim.
What up?
Check out my Instagram and Twitter at Stuart Highcar. Incredible content there. But very specifically, I want to talk about a show that's coming up in early February that our friend Camden is putting on.
Nice.
Camden, could you give us the details of this show? Because everyone in Chicago needs to be there, all right?
Yeah, you can. So I've mentioned it briefly on the pod before, but I help run an event company, small event company in Chicago called Reset. You can follow all of our updates on Instagram and Twitter at reset_presents, where you can get updates on this show. But we actually, and this is a very recent thing as of this record, we are officially locked in for Thursday, February 6th for our debut show in their main room. It's their big actual venue space.
Incredible.
It's Subterranean. We're importing tons of talent from around. Some SoundCloud heavyweights coming through. Ledge Kale, Chrome and Nietzsche. Jamvis is coming, and our own hometown hero, Harry. So please come check that out. Again, that's Thursday, February 6th. 17 plus. Bring your little siblings. It's gonna be a jam.
You said 17 plus, but could I still get in if I was a teen bay?
Oh my God.
Holy shit. So yeah, follow all our events at reset_presents, and you can follow me on everything I'm doing at SHHH Makes Music if you want to see what I'm doing as far as music. And if you want to hit me up about any sound stuff, at Sounds Like Camden on Instagram and CamdenStacy@gmail.com.
Fuck yeah. Well, on behalf of my junior statesman Anthony Rossi and Stuart Highcar, I'm your elder statesman Tim Ferrari. State positive.
Green Bay Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teen Bay Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Shut up.
What? What?
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome. Now, walk into the club like, what up?